أهلا وسهلا. اسمي جيمس وأنا من JTC ومونتانا في أمريكا. أنا سعيد بوجودي هنا. My Arabic isn't very good, so I'm going to stop there before I embarrass myself. But thank you very much for being here. My name's James. I'm from JTC in Montana, USA. And we have a great presentation for you today. We have 6 speakers who are all leaders in their own right and are fantastic presenters. We've been working for about a month and a half now to just hone some of those skills, and I think that you will greatly enjoy their presentations. So, without any further ado, I would like to bring up Lieutenant Colonel Hassan to get us started.
Thank you, James. Thank you. Good morning. In your lifetime, you will get the chance to meet 1,000 people. It's been proven in research that in your lifetime, you will get the chance to meet 1,000 people. And if you are lucky enough, you will manage to influence at least 10 of them. Those 10 in return will impact another 10, another 10, another 10. After 6 generations, you would impact 10 million people, the whole entire people of Jordan. You would change them. Today, we are going to talk about how to make difference in life. How to make difference in life. It turns out that be a leader is something not easy, easier said than done. Martin Luther King, you all know Martin Luther King with his very inspirational say. He said once, "I have a dream." He was not the only one in the battlefield. He wasn't the only orator who was defending the civil rights movement. Many people did that. Many people tried to defend the rights. But it turns out that Martin Luther King was really impactful, and he succeeded. The question is why? Why sometimes your words didn't catch the attention of the people who are listening for you? Why some leaders are successful? Why some officers are successful? We all sometimes get the chance to be a battalion commander. Some succeeds and some fails. But why? There is a nice research by Simon Sinek, a motivational speaker who did a research on leadership. He wrote 5 books about that, and he came up with this nice formula about our mind. This is actually how our mind wired. It is a replica of our mind. This is what area. Everybody knows what they do. We know what we do. I am a teacher, I teach English. I am an engineer, I am a lawyer. We all know what we do. But some people know how to do their job. But how many people know why they do what they do? It turns out that great, inspiring leaders are less than 100%. The vast majority of the people, they don't know why they do it. Influence. So our key word today is influence. If you know how to influence people, you're going to be a successful leader. Sometimes people buy what you do. They buy why you do it. They don't buy what you do, actually. I have a story to make this is clear for you. Once I participated in a peacekeeping mission in the Ivory Coast, and I was a platoon commander. At that time, it was peaceful. I would buy manga for 1 penny, coconut for a punch of that for less than $1. It was peaceful. I enjoyed the ocean. But once a party won the election, we have to watch the streets to make sure and guarantee peace. We have to conduct patrols. I was the leader at that patrol. And I have to lecture my team members. Imagine that I start with that. That's your job. What are you going to do is just to move around and protect civilians. Does that work? Do you think people would do that because they receive money? Do you think people would do that because I give them orders? No. I always started with the cause, with the result. You are doing that because you are defending freedom. You are defending a mother who suffers because her husband was killed in the battlefield, so that you protect her with her sons. That's why you go there, and that's why you sacrifice yourself. That's how you influence people. Leaders, we call them leaders actually because they go first. They go first, that's why we follow them. If they don't go first, we will suspect their leadership. I remember another story when in the military academy, when I did my training as a cadet at the end of 1999, we were doing the parachuting. And you can imagine the situation at that time. Everybody was horrified. It's the first time to jump the airplane, and you are doing that at dawn with full gear. You are hanging to the sick line, and who knows if you're lucky or not. Are you meeting your grave or are you meeting your beloved ones? And all of a sudden, the king was up there helping us as a go-master. That's why we call them leaders, actually. We call them leaders because they sacrifice. When they sacrifice, we trust them. Then we will follow them. I have another example. We took an example from the very west, Middle East. Then we have another example from the east. Commanders are all commanders. They all behave in the same exact way. They defend the reason. They convince you with the reason. Mahathir Mohamad, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, he won the election 5 times. He ruled the country 24 years. It was not a fruit because he was lucky or descendant of a family from the class family. He spent 75 years in political positions. At his time, Malaysia witnessed economic growth, rapid modernization, and Malaysia became among the first 20 trading nations in the world. Mahathir Mohamad once said, democracy must be internally generated. You cannot force it from the top. You have to start from the bottom. So you have to work on the people. You have to work on the why question. You have to answer that question first, then you can convince people to follow you. Prominent traits of leaders, we can discuss some of them in a nutshell. Listen to everyone. Do you think this is an easy task? It's not easy. You have to listen, and listening is a skill you have to acquire. If you manage to listen for anyone else, for anyone, there is 2 benefits of that. First of all, you will relieve him or her from the pressure on themselves that they want to say something. Then they will be available, they will be yours to listen for you. After that, you will get the chance to think it over. Then will you collect your ideas and give them the ideas. Communication. Again, it's not easy to communicate with people. Soft skills are not easy. How to have social intelligence, emotional intelligence. You have to understand your subordinates or employees. Are they suffering something back in their home? Are you giving them orders and you don't understand what they suffer? Motivation. If it's not about motivation, then what? You have to motivate your people. You have to motivate them to work. Every time we need motivation. It's life. If there is no motivation, people don't move, actually. Innovation. If it's not innovation, then it is a followership. Are you going to follow your previous leader steps, or you want to innovate? Do you think that Samsung and Apple are not competing to innovate? If they don't innovate, they will die. These companies, Kodak, it's a company. In the 1990, it has 75,000 employees over the world. It was amongst the biggest companies in the world, but they didn't innovate. Nokia was a pioneer in the field of cell phones, but they didn't innovate. That's why Steve Jobs was successful, actually. Courage. If the leader is not courageous enough, you're not going to follow him. You would say, he's not courageous, he's a coward, for example, and then you will not follow him or her. Humility. If you are ignorant with all this stuff that we mentioned, you have everything, but arrogant, it's kind of barrier between you and your employees. You have to be down to earth. They will listen to you. They will follow you. You will be able to make difference. So if you want to be a leader who make difference in life, try not to be a commandant, try not to be a boss, not to be just a commander. Try to be a leader. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I will turn it over now to my colleague, Lieutenant Colonel Ali.
Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Good? Okay, I'm going to start telling you a short story. Once upon a time, there was a king and his daughter walking out of the castle, and they saw a shepherd. The princess looked down at the shepherd, and the king saw that look, and he told her, "Hey, little princess, don't do this again. Everyone in this life has a role. I'm a king, I have to rule. You are a princess, you have to take care of the people. And he's a shepherd, he has to take care of the sheep. Every one of us has a role to play." Why people are different? We are different because this is the universe. This is the way that the universe works. We have to be different, so we can do different things. We can go with this population, with this earth, so we can construct this earth and make these countries and make life. Our differences started from what? From being like men, women, children, different nationalities. So we have to do what? To compete. Why to compete? We have to compete in different places, different fields. We need teachers, we need officers, we need people who work in construction places, we need doctors, we need nurses. And the nations, they have these fields, and they can compete between each other to do what? To make civilization. And because of the competing, we're starting to have conflicts. We're starting to have conflicts between everybody to be number one in this earth. And people around all the history, you have found like the Roman Empire, like the pharaohs, the Nabateans, all these civilizations started to become number one, to compete. Why? To using this difference. And with ideas and careers. If we are not different, we will not have an idea to go with one thing. I'll give an example of teachers, instructors. I have an idea I can do in my class. I can teach my students in a method. Another instructor can do another method to teach his students, because we are different, and we can use these differences to enrich our world. And the career, as I said earlier, we have doctors, nurses, teachers, all of these. If we haven't this difference, we haven't these different careers, we will not have life, right? So imagine that everybody in this world is just an instructor, just to teach. Will you have students? Will we have doctors? So if this instructor got sick, so are he going to go to an instructor to give him a prescription for something? No, we have to be different so we can go on with this life. And challenges, environment. So if we are not different, we will not have any challenge to overcome. We will look for each other, to help each other to overcome these challenges, especially in our environment, like the penguins. Look at them. They're in the snow and the ice, but they can walk. They can have life in the ice. But if we ask any one of us to go there and live like penguins, would he or she do it? No, because we are different from penguins and from others. So just an example of this one. And again, with the differences, we have men and women. So if we wouldn't have men and women, thank you, we will not have the chance to reproduce the next generation that can go with and help to continue this life and our civilization. And with the angels and devil. So let's say that everybody in this room is a good person. So will we have like problems? If everybody like good guys, will we have problems? No. If we have everybody like bad guys, what will happen? We'll have destruction. If we have good guys, we will not have anything to do with like, if everybody like good, we will not have police. So no one will work as a policeman. If we have everybody is good, like we will not have people to work in like a place that, let's say, go on with distributing the complex between people. So we have to be different to make this life better for everybody. And the last thing I want to say that I want to share something that I came up with, that because of our differences, we have to be united to do something good for everybody and for the next generation. So I came up with this rule of the rules, which is the first one, respect. If we started to respect each other, this is the first step that we have to do. I haven't to look down at you like the princess. I have to respect you at the first place. After respecting you, and you respect me, because you are different, I am different. Then we'll start to understand our differences. So for example, I am Arabic, he's American, he's Egyptian, I'm instructor, he's a student. We are different. So we have to understand each other. We have to understand our differences to do what? To start liking each other. So I may like your culture. I may like your language. I may use it. I may like my language, and I use it with your language. And to start with earning the knowledge. So if I respected you and understand your culture, your way of life, and like it, I'll start to earn the knowledge. I'm giving the first example. I'm speaking English. Even I'm Arabic, and my first language is Arabic. But I'm speaking English because I respected the language, respected the culture, and learned it. I earned the language skills to start speaking it. Then I'll start share my information, my language, anything that I like and I love, I'll share it with everybody else, and they will do the same, and we will have everything like we agreed on a lot of things. And if you remember the first slide, what do I have? I have what? I have a picture of princess, right? Have you recognized the writing on the picture? What was it? It was Arabic. Why? Because it's my first language, something that I love. I wanted to share with you that I have a story in Arabic, but I use the language, I use the English to share it with you. And there's a hadith for Prophet Muhammad, alayhi salatu salam. He said thing like the same. People like the body, different organs, but if one of them has a problem, every organ in the body will feel with that organ. So we have to be like the body. We have to be one body. We have to respect, understand, like, and the knowledge and share. And I did not forget to finish the story. Yeah. So what happened after that? That a princess came to the king and asked the princess for marriage, and another person kidnapped that princess, and he took her to a place who is away from the castle of this kingdom, and the shepherd knows that castle because he always took his sheep to a far area, and he noticed that place, and he was there at that time, and he noticed when they kidnapped the princess, and he rescued her, and she thanked him. Then she said, my father was right. Thank you so much. Now we'll go with Major Mu'tasim. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Major Mu'tasim. I work as an English instructor here in this great entity, JAFLI. So, look at this picture. Do you like it? Yes. It's an amazing thing. I don't know what's the equivalent in English. We call it ka'ak, which is something like dry bagels. These dry bagels, along with the tea, are the typical Jordanian breakfast for students. Most of the students eat this for breakfast. And if they don't eat this for breakfast, they eat this at the cafeteria in the school. So, do you think this food good for our brain, guys? Do you think it's good for our focus? Does it fuel our brain? Do you think so? What do you think? I don't think so. So, the idea here is what I believe in and what I noticed through my observation to my students. What we put in our digestive system goes to our mind and the brain. So do you think if we put junk, we will be imaginative? We will be like creative? What do you think? No way, huh? No way. So some of you guys would say, no, I disagree with you, because when I eat that, I feel energetic. Okay, unfortunately, that's right. That's right, because it is like setting a fire to a piece of paper. So it gives you a good amount of energy, okay, for a short period of time, and then you feel energetic. After you eat this, you feel energetic for 1 hour or a couple of hours. And then you have something, or you will have, the person who does that will have something called crash, okay? What's the crash? Crash is something like this. You have a tired student in the class, exhausted, not able to focus because he didn't get the enough fuel for his body and mind, okay? So, does that affect just our minds or our focus? No, it affects our energy also. You know these people, like the low energetic people, oh, hey, good morning, how's it going? Oh, I'm fried, I'm good. Life is miserable. You know these people? Who wants, guys, to be close to these kinds of people? For me, I don't prefer to do so. And people try to get away from these kind of people. So part of the problem is the diet, the high, the sugary and high carb breakfast. So what is the solution? We started with the problem. So what is the solution? The solution is whenever you have, let's say, a duty that require good focus or good mental ability, we need to include some good fat, some good foods that are brain, I call it brain-friendly food. So we need to consider that. Not just the high, let's say the good fat, also the good protein thing. Sorry, the good protein thing, the high protein diet, okay? These things gives you a long-term energy. Like if you start your breakfast at 8, for example, and it's 3 p.m. and do you still have good energy? It's different from the starchy, sugary stuff that we start our days with. So, my idea and what I believe in is if you don't have enough nutrients through your diet, you need to supplement. You need to take supplements. If you don't have enough good fish, good salmon, you need to take, for example, omega-3 in order to fuel your body. Because we guys, we fuel our cars, we put oils in our cars, but unfortunately we forget to put oil in our brains. So, there is something that's a problem there is a problem when we talk about diets in general. Deprivation. And deprivation here is like you cannot eat this. Stop sugar at all. Stop high carb things at all. I am totally against that. Because look at the face. Look at the face of the lady here. She's sad, and that happens to lots of people. They deprive themselves, and they can't continue because it is not consistent to be like this. My idea here is to think before you eat. As we said before, if you have duties, if you have chores, if you have things that require good mental ability, you need to think before you choose. Think before you choose your diet. And the good things about this stuff, good food, healthy food, supplements, they don't just like give you they don't just give you focus in your mental, they give you also the energy. So they make you focus, they make you positive, the mood, and also the energy. They make you energetic. And I think you agree with me, guys. People are energy. People are energy. We like to be close to energetic people. The people who moves a lot, the people who talk in a good way, the people who like positive, the people who we love this attitude. So people like to be like this. And again, part of this energy is the diet. So, again, think. My message here is to think before you eat. Just look at the food, choose the right thing, because it goes back to your mind. If you eat junk, for sure, you will think junk. And if you eat good and creative, for sure, you will think good and creative. You have the choice. I want to stop here. So you have the choice, guys, to be like this guy's energetic. Like you can help make the choice to be the energetic person, the good mood person, or the tired, low energy person. Thank you so much. Now I want to turn it over to Lieutenant Sara.
Sorry. Yeah. So I'll be starting today by asking the questions from how did Singer Rocks made a very lucky average American guy a fortune, to the more down-to-earth question of how does rocks and stones make places really special destinations for human beings. So good morning, I'm Lieutenant Sara, and I'll be talking today about the importance of rocks. So I'll go back to talk about the excuse me, which one is it?
It's this one right there.
It's not that one down. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're having one small technical difficulty here.
So I'll be talking today about rocks. So what are rocks? Rocks are just these random, natural, occurring masses that you can find everywhere. You can stumble upon some of them while you're walking, and you will never care, or you'll never notice them. So I know what you're thinking. It's a boring science lecture that I'm going to bore you to death with. No, it's not the case. I would like to share with you these three kinds of rocks that exist on Earth. So the first one is igneous rocks, the second one are sedimentary, and the last one is metamorphic. So what are igneous rocks? They are rocks that are formed from the melting of substances and matter in the core of Earth, and that has arisen to the surface of Earth by the eruption of volcanoes. Hence, there's dark colors such as the black color. And the sedimentary rock is a kind of rock that is formed by components such as silt, sand, and dead plants, animal skeletons that are deposited at the riverbanks and the seabeds in distinguished layers that you can notice different colors and components in. So the last one is metamorphic one, and the metamorphic rocks are rocks that are formed out of other rocks by the existence of other factors that helps, such as heat and pressure. Some of them very precious and very expensive, such as the marble here, if you noticed. Yeah. So I'll be going back to the other guy that I talked about earlier, and he is the famous American guy back in the 70s. His name is Gary Dahl, if any of you heard of him. So Gary Dahl was just an average American guy, just chilling out some night at a bar with his fellow friends. And he had this crazy idea off the top of his head. He said to them, hey, I'm going to sell people rocks and make them buy it. So it wasn't the product, it was the marketing of the rock. So he made up this product, as you see, consists of 4 parts. So the 4 parts of the product was the infamous pit rock. He just found on a random beach in California, yeah? And he had some wood shavings to keep the pit rock nice and cozy, yeah. And there was the cardboard box with the little holes, mimicking any a carton box that you will transfer your pit in. And the most important one was the manual. As you can see, the pit rock manual was a hilarious manual. So this manual mentioned that the pit rock has been taught a couple of tricks. So the first one was you sit still, and the other one was play dead. And it did both of them really well. So it sold what it said. And there was this some lady, she forwarded a letter to a local store where she purchased her pit rock. And she mentioned in her letter that she had purchased it and it arrived at her home, and she had a blast and the time of her life with her pit rock. And she taught it some extra tricks, and unfortunately it passed away, and she had to give it a decent burial in her backyard. So saying that, now I will try and tell you how rocks and stones made places really sentimental and special to human beings. So as you can see, many of you may know this place. It's the famous Stonehenge in Wiltshire in England. Stonehenge was a prehistoric monument that was built to celebrate the lives of the ancestors. So it was built, guys, before 5,000 years ago, still standing strong. And moving on, we have the Black Rock of Mecca, the Black Rock of Al-Kaaba in Mecca in Saudi Arabia. The Black Rock is embedded in the eastern side of Kaaba, where Muslims turn to and pray 5 times a day. And as you see, the color is black. It was being said that this stone has been given to the Prophet Abraham from paradise. And it was whiter than milk, but the sins of the sons of Adam made it the color black. So we'll go to amazing place I would love to visit, and I am sure many of you would love to visit it too. It's the Great Pyramids of Giza. The Great Pyramids of Giza are located in the Valley of Kings, and they're the final resting place for the great ancient pharaohs of Egypt. And it's a very, I may say, it's a very nice resting place for them to lie in until they peacefully transfer to their next life as they believed. Made out of massive sand and limestone with brilliant golden yellow color. That said, home sweet home, it's Petra, and it is the famous archaeological site in Jordan, the most famous one and the most dear one. It's been carved in pink sandstone, and hence the name Pink City. It's a hidden city in the desert in Jordan, and it was the capital for the Nabateans long back in the days. So very proud of it. It's a famous tourist attraction in Jordan, and is considered one of the 7 wonders of the world. So we'll go now to Easter Islands, a very enchanted, mesmerizing island. It's a volcanic island in Polynesia. So this island has these figurines, as you see, but they are massive, with their faces carved as men. They're aligned as if they are protecting the island. They were restored from under the ashes because hence it's a volcanic island. But they were restored, and there are about 900 of them. And it's safe to say that it's safe to travel and visit this island because the primary and secondary volcanoes are in dormant status. So here we have the great temple of Angkor Wat, located in northern Cambodia. So it's located in northern Cambodia, and it's a massive complex that consists of like hundreds and hundreds of Buddhist temples located in spreading over 400 acres of land. So said that, so finally, or last but not least, there's a very famous idiom that says, a rolling stone never gathers moss. And we have in Arabic a very famous saying that says, a mountain shall never meet a mountain, but a man can meet a man. So what we take out of all of this is be creative, be adventurous, be motivated, and get out there and introduce yourself to other cultures, and be proud of your own. Thank you very much. So I'll hand it over to Major Ahmad. Handing it over to Major Ahmad.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so pleased to stand in front of you all here this morning in this great entity. As just my colleague Sara said, that someone was making money out of nothing. Why? Just he was selling stones. But I think we are, as Jordanians, like to spend and waste money. How? That's what we are going to talk about it today. Actually, smoking is a bad habit. And if we think about it carefully, it destroys our body, let's say, in general. How? Every smoke or every cigarette we smoke contains about 700 chemicals. 270 is dangerous to our health. And 70 out of, let's say, 700 are making cancers. And let's consider that not only cancers that could destroy our body, but also we have many things. For example, it would affect your bones, it would affect your skin, your blood, your body in general. So I think it's good to consider this one. Let's talk about Jordan. Since we are living in Jordan, I think we need to focus on our country. The statistics say that the general budget for Jordan this year is 12 billion JD. 6% of Jordan GDP goes only for smoking. That means that we are, as a Jordanian, wasting about 700 million each year only for smoking. Imagine this number. And pay attention to this number because we are going to talk about it. Health cost. Smoking makes about 900 million every day as a revenue to the government. On the other hand, Jordanian government are paying the double cost, which is 1.6 as a double cost just to take care of the Jordanian health. So imagine this number. We have 900 subtracted by the healthcare cost. We have 700 millions wasted money for nothing. Family expenses. Take a quick look here and see that we are, as Jordanians, paying as much as paying for education and health. Impacts. Since we are in Jordan having 12 cities, and we have here 25 person who dies every day. That means that we lose in each city about 2 persons just every day. And the total number in a year is about 9,000. Okay, let's be optimistic instead of mentioning all of these things or all of these facts. Why we don't build our country? Why we don't care about our country or our offspring in the future? How we might do some projects? What kind of projects that we can do? The first one we can do, every year we can build 10 or 8 hospitals like this one, just every year. The second project that we can do is building about 10 solar energy systems that could provide more than 500,000 homes with energy every year. The third project we could do is building our education. How? We can build about 14 universities like the Jordanian University, Jordanian Science and Technology University. Think about these projects. Why we don't build our country in this way instead of wasting our money on smoking? To conclude, I think, or I believe, we should care about our offsprings. We should care about our education and our country by building good projects and, let's say, good infrastructure to our future. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. So I'm First Lieutenant Ali Ababni. I work as an instructor here in JAFLI. Today, I'm going to present something called somatotype, which means, in other words, body type. So before I start my presentation, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you struggle losing weight, or do you lose weight super easily? So the answer of these questions may not lie on your diet or on your lifestyle. It might lie on understanding which body type do you belong to. So at first, I'm going to share this interesting fact with you. That's one of the pioneers of this survey was an American scientist whose name is William Sheldon. He was not a nutritionist. He was not a doctor. He has nothing to do with biology. He was a psychologist. So his theory was trying to connect temperament types with body types. So despite that his studies and his survey was poor from the psychological side, however, his survey of body types has merit. So starting of the three main body types, endomorph, mesomorph, and ectomorph. So the first body type that we have is endomorph. The qualities that these persons have, they have three main qualities. The first one is slow metabolism. So what do I mean by metabolism? Metabolism is the process in our bodies that's responsible for burning calories. And as a result of having this slow metabolism process, they gain weight super easily. So they are more prone to be overweight. Talking about their frame size, they have large frame size with small shoulders, and their weight is not distributed actually evenly in their bodies. So it's mainly in their lower abdomen, hips, and thighs. Okay, so mesomorph, which is the second body type. So for those who are blessed actually to have these genes, they are more likely to gain muscles easily if they work out. And they have this medium frame size with a triangle shape. And the last one is ectomorph. Ectomorph, they have little mass, whether it is fat or muscles, and they have a very fast metabolism process, which is responsible of their lanky shape. Talking about their frame size, the best description for their frame size that they have small bones and small joints with these long limbs and trim waist. Okay, so how to start? So the starting point, if you want to change your body, that you have to understand which body do you belong to. So in other words, let's say that your body type set the scene, but your diet and your lifestyle shapes the result. The combination of the main three body types. So the experts found that we don't sit perfectly within just one body type. We are kind of between, somewhere between. So for example, you might be an ectomesomorph, which means that you are mainly a mesomorph with some traits of an ectomorph, such as long limbs or trim waist. And you could be an endomesomorph, which means that you are mainly a mesomorph, but with some qualities of endomorph, such as slow metabolism. What cannot be changed? We know that several qualities in our bodies that we cannot change. I couldn't make your shoulder wider. I couldn't make your waist narrower. However, you still have a huge control of how do you look like. For having a healthy diet, for having a good habit, lifestyle, working out, you can change your body type. So for example, or for instance, an ectomorph, he can gain muscles and he can be more mesomorphic, but he couldn't be totally a mesomorph in the sense that a mesomorph, he has similar lifestyle and he works out frequently, he will always gain muscles quicker. So how to determine your body type? There are 4 indicators helping you to determine which body type do you belong to. The first one is metabolism. As I have said, metabolism is the process in our bodies that's responsible for burning calories. So let's go if you went on a vacation for several days and you gained fat. And you found it so difficult to lose these fats, so you are more likely to be an endomorph. However, if you gain fats, but you still have a huge control of losing them, you are more likely to be a mesomorph. However, if you didn't gain anything, so you are more likely to be an ectomorph. Eating habits. Eating habits, what do I mean by eating habits? It's the relationship between what you eat and how it functions in your body. So if you eat very much and you're still not able to gain weight, so you are ectomorph. However, if what you eat affects very hugely your shape, so you are more likely to be an endomorph. And if it affects your body, but you still have the control of burning these calories, so you are more likely to be an mesomorph. Age. So age, you couldn't determine which body type you belong to when you are in your 40s or when you are in your 50s. You have to think back in your 20s and how did you used to look like. Because whenever you go older, the metabolism process will go slower. So that's why most people gain weight super easily when they go older. Okay, the last thing is frame size. As I have said, we have three main frame sizes: large, medium, and small. So I want to make simple demonstration with you guys that helps you to determine which frame size you belong to. I want every one of you to encircle his wrist using his middle finger and his thumb. So if you found that your middle finger overlapped your thumb, so as this picture here, so you are more likely to be an ectomorph. If they are just touched, so you are a mesomorph. You have a medium size. However, if they don't touch at all, so you are more likely to be endomorph. Don't be judgy, you will still attractive. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today. I hope you enjoyed the presentations. Before we leave, I do have some certificates to give out to our wonderful presenters today. So I'd like to call all of them up on stage, please. Yes, right here. Lieutenant Colonel Hassan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This picture.
Oh, right there.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you,
Yes,
Jeff.
thank you. Lieutenant Colonel Ali. Yes. Take it back down. Oh, there we go. Major.
Thank you, James.
Thank you. Lieutenant Sara. Captain Ahmad. Thank you. Yes. And Lieutenant Ali. Fantastic job. Okay.
Sir, Colonel Sara, would you please? Really, thank you, James.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I enjoyed
Appreciate
it, and I hope that everyone enjoyed them too. The very interesting presentations. And I attended your training twice. I would say after 30 years of being, let's say, leader, I have learned much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
So,
Oh, that is amazing.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And so we have been thinking the whole time what to give you, and then we decided to give you a thing you use regularly.
Okay.
This is why, sir. That was the idea of. Where is Major Musa Abu Hazim? It was his idea. Yeah. Just a reminder at the Language Institute, and when you open it, you don't find a coffee, you find a presenter, with your name on it. Surprise.
Yes, this is a surprise. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I
So
thank
sweet
very
of you.
much.
Yes.
I'm sorry I would join the rest of the celebration, but I have to leave. I have another meeting now in Amman. Thank you very much. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. Yes, I drank a lot of coffee while I was here. We will have a small gathering after this. Yes?
After this,
In the courtyard?
The courtyard, we can please with the staff. We can meet at the courtyard for just small chat and to get acquainted.
Yes. Thank you all
James.
very
Thank
much.
you, James.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys are amazing. You've been just the best
Actually,
hosts.
It's nothing. It's
Yes,
nothing.
yes. It is a lot.
You did a lot actually, and it was really fantastic course. Wow.
Okay.
It's even better than we expected.
Each one of you, by the way, did amazing with your presentations. I think everyone actually improved even more so since last time. So I'm very happy.
You can imagine the very first day at the meeting room.
Yes.
We were doing that and doing that.
Yes.
Even we were only 5. And
You guys came up here and just dominated it. You did so well. I'm very proud of all of you. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, James.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I hope one day to be able to, if you ever have the opportunity to come out, please let me know. I will show you all around. You'll be my guest for once.